Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Chevalier, where we are here to help men and women find those such needed, happy, and healthy relationships. And like always, it doesn't matter whether you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, South American, or even the penguins in Antarctica. Even if everybody don't want to call them relationships, I don't think we can deny that everyone at some point in life, if you live long enough, need a relationship. At first I decided early in the week to take this in the direction of just giving guys pointers on first encounters and how to be upfront with the woman when you want a relationship. But I decided to go in a totally different direction and just tell guys to be prepared to fail in order to succeed. The reason I decided to go this direction because I think too often as men we get scared to date. We get scared to put ourselves out there. We get scared to build relationships and getting relationships because we're afraid to fail, not knowing that it's that failure that builds the character that allows many men all over the world to have happy and healthy marriages. And what I mean is, I remember last year I did a video on nuclear rejection and modern women who basically just give guys the worst type of rejection you can, not to be to turn them down, but to be very harsh and mean, and how this creates guys who have very strong dislike for women. What I'm speaking of today, like as I spoke of last week, is just starting from scratch. And I don't think most modern women want to go into dating with the idea of destroying your feelings and emotions. I think a lot of them are selfish, and I think that's why they don't care about how you feel. But I don't think it's out of the reality that they're out to hurt, destroy, and wear down your emotions and your feelings. So in other words, men, when you date and a woman rejects you, I think it's more out of her selfishness than this feel of I gotta hurt his feelings in order to feel vindicated. I will honestly say, guys, that most women are not out to hurt you. They're out for themselves, and ironically, being out for themselves and that selfishness takes under the ideology of women are out to hurt men. And when I say women, I mean at least 51%. Yes, you got that percentage who are out to hurt, destroy, and tear down men because of their own ignorance and their lack of making wise decisions and choosing good men. So they choose bad men who are bad for them, and then because they've made bad decisions and it has led to bad outcomes, they get this idea that now I got to get back at the guys for ruining me, where ironically you're only meeting these guys because you chose them. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Guys, in our cases, we understand that everything we do in life comes with success and failure. It's like the job market. When you look for a job, just because an employer doesn't choose you doesn't mean that you hold this grudge against them. You just say, hey, I didn't get the job, and I move on. Same thing in school. When you are when you're in math and you fail the math test, you don't hate the teacher and begrudge the school and want to burn down the university because you failed. You look at what you did wrong and what you can do better next time. Same thing with dating. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But at the end of the day, you'll never win if you don't play. Rejection is a part of dating, and it's a part of the failures that build the character that most men say they want in women. And I always find it ironic because I meet guys who say they want a woman with character, not understanding that for a man, in order to build that character you're looking for, you have to put in the effort to understand that you're going to take a certain amount of hits. You're going to spend a certain amount of money. And you guys who are cheap and who are out here talking about something, trying to meet women, and you ain't trying to spend no money on dating, you might as well go ahead and get that out your system, because just like buying a house, buying a car, buying clothes, getting into a good college institution, living a good life, having luxury items. Women cost just like everything else. It's just that in my book, women hold more value than everything else. But you're going to spend money. Sometimes you're going to spend money and you're going to be able to go home and have this woman that you're going to be happy with forever. And then sometimes you're going to spend a lot of money and you're going to get rejected and you're going to lose everything. It's just the way it is. My idea of dating is don't spend everything that you have. I tell guys the very most first dates, you shouldn't be spending more than $50. If you're spending more than $50 on a first date, you're spending way too much money. And to be honest, you're probably talking to a woman that isn't going to be worth your time economically, financially, and most importantly, emotionally and intimately. You should never be spending more than $50 on a first date. You just should not. But that's a video for another day. Maybe I done took my hand and told you what the next video going to be about. But in today's video, we're talking about understanding that this rejection thing is going to happen. And I don't care whether you are a good-looking, handsome, high-paid, high-educated gentleman like myself, if you're a high-value man, if you're a millionaire athlete, or if you're just a guy making $10 an hour, at McDonald's, trying to work the food tray. You know what I'm saying? Like, understand that this rejection thing is going to happen to all of us, and don't take it out on the women. And I think that's one thing that I think this new chapter of Chevalier is trying to create, is helping you men understand to take the blame off of the women and look at yourself. Because as I said before, I was in that stage where I took the rejections left and right, and then one day, like Muhammad Ali, I took so many knockdowns that it didn't even affect me anymore. And when I got to that stage where rejections didn't bother me anymore, when I got to that stage where being turned down, or being turned away, or being told no, or being told I'm not interested didn't hurt me anymore, it allowed me to go even further in dating and finally meet the woman who was right for me. And that's why I think that, for guys who really want advice on this dating and relationship thing, understanding that, there is no right way to date. There's a wrong way to date, but there's really no right way to date as long as the woman you choose and you decide to be with decides to actually be with you. But understand that this is a gamble, that you're going to put everything on the line at some point and you're going to lose a lot. I only say that you have to minimize your losses by, number one, stop spending all your money on dates. Number two, never give a female everything you have. Number three, don't be cheap. And do not, and I mean the gentlemen, do not give more than you have to give for yourself. And number four, understanding that the sooner you put yourself out there to take the loss, the sooner you can recover from it, and the sooner you can move on. Because you have a lot of guys that's ready to call social media who's telling you what to do to date, but they don't tell you what to do in case you fail. And I think so much and so often we fail and we don't understand that it's just like anything else in life. You get up, you brush yourself off, and then you keep going to the next. You don't let anything hold you back. You don't let it tear you down. You don't let it make you cry. You don't let it depress you for too long. You spend a day on it and you keep going. I think to me the fundamental first is again, I'm going to say this for the third time, I spending so much money on dates. I think what's going on with a lot of us guys is we spend so much money on these dates that it's almost like make or break. You're spending all this money, and then if it don't work, you're detrimented and you're hurt and you feel torn down. Spend $50 or less. I challenge anyone to come at me with a reasonable explanation of why a man should spend more than $50 on a date. And let's have the conversation in a meaningful manner, and let's put it out there for the world to see and see what everybody says. So, gentlemen, be prepared for failure, but understand that failure is just a step to success. Until next time, peace. Y'all get it, man. We out. Chevalier, yeah.